It's exciting to come your way with another edition of Turning Point. We've looked at several issues, especially looking at the reason for selecting the Bible as a main book of reference for this program. We've also looked at the need to understand the various genealogies that have passed all the way from Adam to the time of Jesus, and even from Jesus right to the age that we are in. I mentioned that there are 4 ways that we can do this. We can do this either by prophecy. We can also do this either also by way of using history and the recorded history as a means of tracking human revolution and evolution up to this point. I also spoke about the fact that it is also quite convenient and not alien to various traditions for using genealogy, which is the number of people who have come from one generation to the other through various families and societies and communities. This is a common phenomenon that happens everywhere. We also looked at the people who are the target group for this particular program, which is the youth, and also the people who call themselves sons of God. In today's edition, we want to take a look at Ghana, our nation, and have a review of how this nation looks like, and do a thorough retrospective assessment of our country in order for us to have a foresight or a vision of how this country should go. Ghana is a golden nation and is in the center of the world. It is the closest to the equator, which is the line that divides the world into 2 equal halves. Ghana is over several decades old, but since its independence, years after each independence, makes Ghana have 66 years as it is now. Ghana is a West African country and was called the Gold Coast not until the 18th century, when Ghana gained independence, that the name Ghana was given to it. I always define colonialism that Ghana experienced as having this experience that you are in your house. A man just walks into your house and tells you that from today he is in control of the affairs of your house. He will sleep with your wife. He will determine the kind of school your children go and make all the decisions in the house. This is what this nation was subjected to prior to the 18th century. By God's grace and through the effort of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Grant Akwaje, Obeche Lamte, and 1948 people who contributed to the riot, and the 3 veteran soldiers who were shot on the Christian Born Council, and all these struggles that generated tension in this nation made her to gain her independence in the 19th century, which is 6th of March 1957. And from that time, the name Gold Coast was changed, and the name Ghana, which means warrior king, was put on this nation. I prefer to say warrior queen because it's a very caring, daring woman who has provided her children with everything that we need. The name Ghana comes from the ancient Ghana Empire, which existed in the southern part of Africa, where we have present-day Tanzania and Mali and Niger. That area, that is where the ancient Ghana was. In subsequent broadcasts, I will talk about how our people ended there. But from this particular broadcast, my focus is tracing how we got the name Ghana, because our forefathers lived there in the then Songa Empire, then Mali Empire, and then Ghana Empire. This empire collapsed because of hardship and wars, and for this particular reason, the nation Ghana, our forefathers, now moved to this area, which is the south of the Sahara, and settled in now currently West Africa. And God really blessed us with such a land flowing with milk and honey. In fact, Ghana has contributed so much to African history, African liberation, and the prosperity of the world as a whole through the quality cocoa products that we always export, and the quality gold, diamond, bauxite, aluminium, and all the other minerals that we are able to extract from our soil. Obaya has also privileged us with oil, and now we also contribute to the world production of oil, which also contribute to our economic GDP. Ghana has raised generals such as Kofi Annan, who contributed to the world peace and stability, progress and development as a whole, as the UN Secretary General. And as a matter of fact, he is one of the finest UN Secretary General the world has ever had. We cannot forget about the contribution of African heroes like Kwame Nkrumah, who has assisted in several nations getting their independence by setting Ghana as a hub, training young people who went to their various countries and liberated the countries from colonialism. Ghana has also contributed to a military establishment of Africa then, making sure that there was peace and stability in the entire African continent. Again, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said the independence of Ghana is meaningless until it is linked to the total liberation of the African continent. And by so doing, he contributed severally in terms of monetary or financial assistance to several nations. He has built several schools and monuments in other nations, which helped all those struggling nations to be able to stand on their feet as it is today. And all these nations really trace their support and are grateful to the nation Ghana for the support it gave them in those dying needs. Ghana has produced all manner of talent and has won the African Cup of Nations 6 times and was the second African country that got to the level of quarterfinals in the world stage. In terms of boxing, we have Azuma Nelson, who made Ghana proud and brought the dimension of glory of African boxing to the world. And this is the product of this wonderful nation. In terms of power, I remember watching our current president, President Akufo-Addo, in United Nations, when he was the one who chaired the meeting that was geared towards facilitating peace between the nation Palestine and Israel when they were disputed. I was proud as a Ghanaian when our president took the podium and boldly spoke confidently and eloquently and articulated a level of intellectualism, a level of statesmanship, and a level of diplomacy. We have such a land that doesn't have much earthquakes and tsunamis as it happens in so many other lands. There are so many precious minerals in our soil. Several tourist sites, the exciting landscape is found in this country. We have a lot of waterfalls, we have monkey sanctuaries, we have mountains, and name it, Ghana has it all. Ghana has wonderful anthems composed by patriotic, inspired Ghanaians who wrote these things as a means of us having a reflection of the state of our country and to imbibe in us the spirit of patriotism and the culture of dedication and commitment to building our motherland. For example, the popular national anthem, it says, "God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Go to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our heart with true humility. Make us cherish, fearless, and honest people, and help us to resist the oppressor's rule." And if we take a look at this anthem, it is talking about our character, having the virtues of honesty, having the virtues of courage at the forefront, defending our nation as a core value for the citizens to have. If you look at the pledge, which is a promise that Ghanaians are supposed to make towards this country, it says that I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers, and I pledge myself in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God. I believe every person in this country has said this pledge before, but what I do know for sure is that not all of us have reflected on the words in this pledge. Either we are liars or selfish people who don't have the spirit of integrity and cannot be taken serious. Because how can we say we pledge to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers and to defend the good name of Ghana? And look at our country as a people. Look at us. There are other patriotic songs that also are geared to inspiration and dedication to this nation, such as "Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold it and make it great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. But what do we do these days as youth? We conspire and connive with people to destroy our very environment. We destroy the natural habitat of animals. We destroy our water bodies. Meanwhile, we are the very people who have been singing this song. But it's not surprising, because Yanara Yassasini has it all. He says, Yanara Yassasini, a yabo den de maye. Moja Yananam Shibu de to Homaye. A drew mene was so, say ye be ye be a twasso. And in you. It is our time for us to continue. You see what we are doing. You see what we are doing. Somebody risked his life to bring cocoa to Ghana. You are in cocoa board. For you to now supply farmers with fertilizer, you see what you are doing. You are in public sector. You have privilege to be paid your salary. You see what you are doing. I do me say baby at waso. Say a hoodie, me know, ya at waso. Or say, oh my baby. So my enya a yen san now say a man for the bra and nature. It is not say you show my nasa or my new baby ya pet. Now you can't say Ghana fee Emma a president for quite make us say yet a shit what country a yeme no. They do ya say ya and na ya de atwaso. Na me kaye nyina ma yesa wo say the ocho san no motu wo no na onim afrim ntiase mu say o man bia be ye eye ensena ho say oman for ne bra and the beche. We sing these songs day and night, year in, year out. But where is our commitment to this nation? We are a nation with majority of the citizens who claim to be affiliated to Abrahamic or Yeshua's faith. And we know that Muslims trace their ancestry to Ishmael, whose father was Abraham. And Christians also trace their genealogy up to Abraham. And if we are all people in the Abraham faith, then in Psalm 82 verse 1 and verse 6, the Bible says that for we are gods because we are sons of the Most High. And if we are indeed gods and sons of the Most High, are we really demonstrating the lifestyle of people who are called gods? I think of other people in other developed nations, because the things that they do, when I look at their mobile phone, when I look at light, when I look at incubators, when I look at full blacker machine, when I look at the level of technological advancement that they have, I see them as gods. Can we say this to be the case in those of us who claim to be the children of God and are affiliated to the faith of Abraham? Yet, most of us who even claim so are still not inspired by kingdom principle of seeking first the nation's interest and also God's righteousness. Because the righteousness of God, I believe, cannot tolerate corruption. I believe the righteousness of God cannot tolerate filth. I believe the righteousness of God cannot tolerate laziness. I know the righteousness of God will not promote disunity and tribalism. The righteousness of God will not promote sabotage. That when Ghanaians are prospering on the social media, other people hack them, other Ghanaians. Recently, one Nigerian had an interview with BBC to talk about the issue of the fact that Nigerians are liars and they're using dubious means to get to UK so that the nation UK will refute that will become disunity and sabotage. I don't think a nation with the righteousness of God will have high level of inflation in prices. I don't think a nation with the righteousness of God would have such levels of lack of commitment to development of our country. Despite these pledges we sing from childhood, we still throw rubbish into our gutters. And when it's about to rain, people stand somewhere and the rain has become a simulator for them, where they throw rubbish into gutters because it's about to rain. The very land that gives us gold, oil, bauxite, timber, and everything, we throw bio-non-degradable substances to destroy the architecture of the land. We sing all these pledges, and yet we connive and conspire to bring foreigners right to our doorstep to come and destroy our motherland through galamsey and illegal mining activities. Yet these nations will never do these things in their own country and to their own land. We've come to a point where things fall apart. The center cannot hold, because if we compare our position to other nations and status to other nations who gained independence at our time or even after us, regardless of all these affirmations in our anthem, we are a nation that allow fraudsters on our TV station broad daylight with just the issue of disclaimer to avoid liabilities. With all this anthem to defend and fight for our nation, to defend the integrity of Ghana, to make sure we build a decent society filled with justice, as our motto is freedom and justice. Yet DKM, God is love, men's goal, and other several Ponzi schemes and dubious banks have been allowed to operate for years. And institutions that were responsible for bringing down these institutions worked for years and only just moved in to collapse these institutions and did not supervise for people whose deposits were locked to get what they really deserved. It is quite pathetic and unfortunate that people condemn the vulnerable and the weak. Yes, we understand the level of greed and selfishness. But what about the institutions mandated to protect citizens and the nation that allows this impunity to go on? School be a minimum. Actually, for school, a demonstration. Editia principal or school, or ye, you must say school, you bet me a coso. What they call Sahudo Edeba. Now, a bra, sa school for we, a school mono. Now, lecturers at on town, hand out to my woman. Emma will complete. Papa ne ba ya oba be ko saade no lectures be bri omu free sa school ni ma o ma ko mani mo ba no enam se na eye a money making hub for them ntino. These people fought against this man for this man to be removed at the detriment of the development, at the detriment of the expansion, at the detriment of the progress this man was bringing to the school because of their individual selfishness. We have become a people that can collapse institutions, that can collapse valuable assets, that can degrade land, that cause mass destruction just for personal interest. We burn vast bush just for small animals that we even eat for a day. One surprising thing about that particular story was that after the man was sacked, a lot of students that he was helping got their certificates locked in the school. But these people could not fight for the same student or demonstrate for the same student that really needed help. Michael Jackson wrote a song, and in that song, he said, "Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me, for you and for me." And he said, this is a core mandate of every person given the privilege to be alive, that we are supposed to make the world a better place. We start from our small corner, and therefore we can start from this country to make this country a better place. Summing it all up, friends, I would say we'll do best by filling our minds and meditating on things true, on things noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, the best, not the worst, beautiful, not ugly, things of praise, not things to curse. Let's put into practice what we have learned, what we have heard and seen and realized. And let's do that. And God, who makes everything work together, will work in us His most excellent harmonies. God bless you for watching this program. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms, and the handle is Lovewaves Media. Please subscribe, like, and share this message with that young patriotic Ghanaian who is poised and filled with the inspiration to want to do something better for this country. If you are that young Ghanaian, find the Ghana Youth Movement Network. It's a network of young Ghanaians who want to contribute our quota towards the development of this country. I am grateful to you for making time to watch this program. Medawase. Thank you. Akwenawo na ngwen marifo. Ma wo me yi monsem